Okay, so should I get started, Linda?
Yes.
Okay, so welcome to Work BC Terrace Virtual Information Session with Kitimat Valley Educational Society. Work BC Terrace would like to acknowledge with gratitude the Tsimshian people for permitting us to work, play, and live on the traditional and unceded territory. Hi, my name is Shelley, and I'm an employment advisor here at Work BC Terrace. We'd like to say thank you for joining us today for this information session. To avoid background noise, all participants will be muted during the presentation. This event will be recorded, and we suggest you use your first name only. And if you don't want to be in the recording, please turn off your video. If you have any questions, please type it in the chat box, and Lindsay will assist you to get an answer during the question and answer period towards the end. If you require technical support, type a message in the chat box, and Christine will be happy to assist you. So before we get started with the event today, wanted to tell you a little bit about Work BC Terrace services. Basically, if you're eligible to work in BC, our resources, training programs, and inclusive services are available to you. We are currently open Monday to Friday from 8:30 a.m., except on Thursday, we're actually open till 6 p.m. We are closed all statutory holidays and during the lunch hour from 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. Starting on August the 3rd, Tuesday, we will be opening our doors for regular service. So if you have any questions, please give us a call at 250-638-8108. And to learn more about our services, please visit our website, like us on Facebook, Twitter, and visit us on LinkedIn. And now I would like to pass you to the mic to Will Jai from the Kitimat Valley Educational Society.
Thank you, Shelley. Really appreciate it. And we're grateful to be here today, and thank you for providing us with a platform. So before I begin, I'll say thank you to everyone on the call, and I'd like to acknowledge that I am on the traditional Tsimshian territory here in Prince Rupert, where I'm presenting from today, and in Kitimat, when I'm there, I'm on the traditional Haisla territory. It's a privilege for me to work with these communities. So today we'll talk about our employment agency's role at Kitimat Valley Education Society. But before we do that, we'll just quickly go over kind of what KVES does. And just quickly before that, going backwards here, but you know, first of all, why are we still here? You know, the country's seeing unprecedented shutdown of retailers, restaurants, bars due to COVID-19. So why are we still operational? And it has to do with the clear mission, vision, and values that are communicated to each employee at KVES every day and at every meeting. So it's because of this important framework that we have a purpose, which is to improve the lives of others. So when a company has a purpose and people who believe in that purpose, you know, you can weather any storm or any crisis. So we're still here because of the people we serve, and the board who runs KVES believes in us. So we're agile, we can pick up, we can move, and we can produce. And I think in the last 18 months, we've shown that over the challenging times that we've seen our business improve, and we're always looking for ways to build efficiencies and improve the training to better the lives of the community members here in Northwest BC. So we're here because of you, and you know, I'm going to quickly share our mission and the vision and core values, and then have a little bit of a success story that proves that we're doing what we're asked to do. So Our mission is to provide efficient training opportunities that meet academic, industry, and institutional training needs. Our vision: we're a self-sustaining organization, a leader in training and education, and a partner of choice for individuals, industries, and institutions in developing qualified people. Our core values are inclusion, so we're grounded in Indigenous knowledges and have respect for the dignity, rights, cultures, and beliefs of all people. We're learner-centered, so we ensure everything we do focuses on the experience of the learner and their success. Excuse me. And we're community-focused, so we focus on the needs of Indigenous communities, the Kitimat community, the North Coast community, and Northern BC. We link to employment. All of our training helps link students to employment. We include employment placement as part of all of our program offerings. One example of this action is the BCIT Bridgewatch Enhanced Rating Program. Learning how to be a deckhand. Carrie's going to speak about it, but we've hosted it. We found the funding. We found the training partner. We've supported Indigenous learners with pre-access support, offered training classes offered classes to external communities, to the Nisga'a Nation, Tsimshian Nation, Gitxsan Nation. All of their community members have attended classes. So in some capacity, we've housed and sorted out meals and helped the participants into employment. So we continue to support these students and help look for work. One of the participants is working at West Coast Launch, and two of the participants were hired directly by C-SPAN, which were a couple big wins. So we do have an employment agency, which has been here for over a decade. So we're currently serving a variety of employers with professional placement services. So we fill positions from administrators to occupational health and safety people. Any position that we get, we're confident we can fill with our database of 1,800 local community members. Myself, I'm a CPHR candidate. Mike's Hannon, who is my colleague there, is a CPHR, and we have a registered recruiter as well as two other team members. So we're very confident in filling positions for any client that comes into the area, whether they're working at LNG Canada or Coastal GasLink or just a Chamber of Commerce employer that's struggling with retention issues. We can help. So Kitimat and Terrace's local businesses, like I just said, are seeing retention issues of top employees as their main concern. This isn't new. We all know it. We want to help local business and community members fill this gap, and we can do that through our employment agency. As a professional placement provider and as a payroll services provider, no matter how complicated the position and no matter the duration of the job, we're here for a one-stop shop. So if it's a very short-term job that an employee or an employer needs an employee and they don't want to onboard them and bring them on their payroll, they can use us as the payroll provider, and that's been very successful. Not a new thing, but can be very helpful for short-term and long-term positions. Especially we see transnational companies coming into the area and they don't know, or they want to be in line with BC employment standards and the Canada Labor Code. They can use us to do that. So we're the local payroll experts. In fact, KVES is the only BC licensed employer of record service provider in Kitimat. We currently have several companies, local and global, who are using our services. So KVES has been recognized for our readiness to support industry in achieving their goals while offering, really exceptional and personal customer service. So again, we recognize the cost to train, to onboard, to retain reliable talent with our payroll services. We can take the burden of some of this liability, taking the successful hire onto our payroll, which I discussed. And then as the professional placement provider, we're providing reliable local candidates to businesses in Kitimat, coming into Kitimat. So this service can be in depth as the client wants. We can take care of advertising, screening, interviewing, and any other role you may deem necessary in the hiring process. So again, with our team working within BC employment standards and under the Canada Labor Code, it's very beneficial to the employers. We also offer occupational pre-employment testing through KVI Safety. So we have drug and alcohol testing, audiometric testing, functional assessments, and respirator fit testing. So if you want any more information from me, I'm the business development coordinator for HR for KVES. My email address is wgye@kves.ca, and that information will be shared in the chat. And my phone number is 778-884-3827. Just wanted to say that, it's a pleasure to present to everyone here today, and it's an absolute pleasure to work for KVES. We do have some job postings that come up internally from time to time, so keep an eye out for that on our website at kves.ca, and then there's the job board there where we post all of our external jobs as well. So I'm going to pass it off to Carrie McKay, and she's going to pick up. And yeah, thank you. If you wouldn't mind, Carrie, it's on to you.
Thanks so much, Will. Welcome, everybody. Exnakwa. I come to you this morning from the traditional territories of the Haisla Nation. Very honored and grateful to be here with you today. So there's a few things that I'm going to talk about this morning, mostly in relation to the corporate training department at KVES. As Will mentioned, we have many business arms. My role at KVES is the corporate training manager. So under the corporate training arm, we have many revenue streams, and we've diversified over the past year due to COVID. So we're able to offer lots of different types of training opportunities for people. Pre-COVID, KVES predominantly only offered training face-to-face. The beauty of the virtual environment due to COVID is that we've pivoted, and most of our training is now offered in a virtual environment. So that means with an instructor, it's a live feed. It's not online training, so it's not asynchronous where you're attending the training on your own and it's driven by yourself. This is led by an instructor on our instruction team, and the workshops range in length depending on the training that you're taking. Some of the training is as short as 2 hours, and some of the HSE training is as long as 6 to 8 hours. It just depends on what you're looking to take. The KVES Corporate Training Department is proud of its accreditation. KVES is an accredited WorkSafe BC training agency for occupational first aid training. So in Kitimat, we are the only WorkSafe BC training agency. So we're very, very proud of that. We are also a fully designated Indigenous agency under the Private Training Institute. So also very proud of that designation. We're a non-profit, as I mentioned, or as Will mentioned rather, and we're one of 5 Indigenous nonprofits in BC that have that accreditation. So very, very proud of that as well. So under the corporate training arm, we deliver HSE training, which is health, safety, and environment type training. We also deliver small equipment training. We deliver personal and professional series workshops. And then the other program that we'll briefly mention there, Bridgewatch, is not a KVES program, but does kind of run under the corporate training arm. So I'll talk a little bit about each of those, and I'll start with the Bridgewatch program. So as I mentioned, the Bridgewatch program being a program that is currently sort of ran in conjunction with KVES. It's a BC IT program, and so not a KVES program. It's very important that we acknowledge that it is not KVES programming. It is BC IT programming. KVES's role and responsibility in the Bridgewatch program is to assist BCIT with some recruiting. So hence Will's alluding to the Bridgewatch program. Will is going to assist in that process of helping people get connected to BCIT for that program. So the program is a Transport Canada certified program. It is post-secondary accredited marine training, excuse me. And as I mentioned, we're doing some assisting BCIT with some recruitment. The fall program is going to begin in October. That will be the last cohort of study that KVES assists with recruiting. However, the program itself will be running until March approximately 2022. BCIT does anticipate potential carrying forward of that program, so that's great news. There is lots of availability in the cohort that we're recruiting for, and you can connect with Will on that if you're looking for more information. There are also waiting lists for the future cohorts. BCIT is going to run another one in January, I believe. And again, as I mentioned, potential for future cohorts beyond the March 2022 end date. So as I mentioned, it's Transport Canada certified. It's a post-secondary accredited marine training program. There are some requirements. Usually each cohort fits about 12 people. The cohort coming up does have a few spots available. It is for any women or Indigenous recent graduates and students that are over the age of 16. So if you do know of anybody that kind of meets that category, please connect them with Will and KVES for some further information on what's needed to apply. The program itself is fully funded by BCIT, so all costs such as transportation, accommodations, and of course, course material and things like that are all covered. The first part of the program is an 8-week program, and that will be online with BCIT instructors. And then the second part of the program will be in Vancouver. And so participants do most of the training at the Marine campus, which is North Vancouver area, I believe. And then there's also a 4 or 5 day course at Camosun College for the small vehicle operator's license, which takes, again, in total about 8 weeks for that second part of the program. So again, anybody interested in the Bridgewatch training program, please do connect with Will or KVES. So moving into KVES corporate training, as I mentioned, we've got HSC training, soft skills training. So in the HSC category, we offer many different types of health, safety, and environment training, many of which help with job readiness, getting people back to work or on the work site. Many of our training courses are recognized on the JFJV job site. So I'll give you kind of an overview of some of that training. So as I mentioned, Kitimat KVES is the only WorkSafe BC designated training agency in Kitimat. And so under the WorkSafe BC designation, we deliver occupational first aid training. We have several instructors that deliver occupational first aid level 1, 2, 3, and transportation endorsement. That training is in-person, face-to-face training at KVI campus in Kitimat. The reason for the in-person training is because we are regulated by WorkSafe BC, and there are practicals that kind of interweave the theory training throughout the day, and it's very important to be hands-on for that training. So that's the OFA training. We also deliver 3M confined space and fall protection. So 3M confined space and fall protection are approved training courses for the JFGB job site. We have a trainer that will deliver the theory portions virtually, and then the practical is done in person at KVI for the fall protection. And then we have other various training, HSE training courses, things like WMIS or transportation of dangerous goods, things like rigging and slinging awareness. So lots of different health and safety training, and most of which is virtual. I think I quickly saw somebody asking about the, moving forward, will they be blended? There are already blended options. KVES also has a completely online training delivery format. If you're looking for some online training only, so that would be asynchronous. Again, I'll give contact information at the end, but we do have that as an option. So we do deliver in 3 different formats. So that's online, strictly online. We deliver virtually with a live feed instructor, and then also some face-to-face. Last year, we decided to add some revenue streams to our corporate training department. And so we're happy this year to be able to provide personal and professional workshops for people also. And some of these workshops are directly, related to the challenges that people face, as they're looking to re-engage in the workforce or even, continue on in the workforce. We deliver things like assertiveness and self-confidence, helping people just find that edge, find what they need to be able to feel, self-confident on the job site. Things like also managing personal finances, really important. If you're re-engaging in the workforce after a period of time, something like this might be sort of fear-producing, and this workshop really helps to kind of alleviate that fear and help people with, how to manage personal finances. We also do things like managing workplace anxiety, which again, really important, if you're considering, returning or re-engaging in the workforce. We have, a vast number of personal and professional series workshops. Again, if you're looking for more information at those, the best thing to do is connect to our corporate training department, which I'll go over that email in just a moment. And then the last business arm underneath the corporate training department is the small equipment training. So over the years, KVES has delivered, various different curriculum, if you will, for the small equipment. Our instructors currently are delivering United Academy training. So they are United Academy trained under the Train the Trainer program. So our small equipment training that we do is the forklift, aerial lift, and coming up later this year, we will be delivering the Zoom Boom and telehandler training. So the great thing about the United Academy training is that it is also approved under the JFJV training provider matrix. So their curriculum is approved and our instructors are delivering that training. So that's another great win for KVES and for people in the Northwest that want to get onto that JFJV job site with some of that HSE training. I guess in closing, I'll just mention the ways in which you can reach out and kind of register and connect with us. So Will did mention the website. You can connect with the corporate training department directly through our email, and that's corporatetraining@kves.ca. And again, we'll supply that up there in the chat afterwards. But you can also register directly for any of our courses online. So we have an online calendar on our website. That's the www.kves.ca website. There is an option to go directly to our calendar and register for any courses there. I guess the caveat to that is we don't put all of our courses on our course calendar monthly. If there is something specific that you're looking for, you'll need to connect with the corporate training department directly through that corporate training email. Our courses, so if you're registering online for our courses, You do pay for those directly through that online portal. Many of our participants also are sponsored through various First Nation administrative groups, and also occasionally, I hope I'm not throwing Work BC Terrace or Kitimat under the bus, but we have many clients that come to us that are also sponsored through different programs that Work BC runs. So if that's something that you need some assistance with, have some conversations with your local service providers or your First Nation administrative groups for information on funding for some of the various courses. I think that's it for me. I just want to say again, thank you so much to Work BC Terrace for extending the invitation for Will and I to join today. And for anybody out there, I know there's a question and answer period coming up, but if you have questions beyond this opportunity here, I know any one of the HR team or the corporate training team would be happy to assist in any way. Like Will said, improving the lives of others, that is our main purpose. So thank you so much again, and it was a pleasure to be here.
Thank you. So now we will be starting our question and answer round. I'll request all the participants to stay till the end after the question and answer round, as we are giving out gift cards through the popular duck race. So please stay tuned. I believe most of the questions that were asked in the chat box, Carrie already answered them. So if you would like to elaborate on if KVES frequently collaborates with Work BC for especially local hiring and training purposes. So do you want to explain a little bit more on that?
Did you want me to field that one, Carrie?
That would be great. Thanks, Will.
Sure. So yeah, absolutely, we go back and forth with Work BC here in Kitimat. We really appreciate the back and forth as well, because they share opportunities with employers that come to them to post their jobs that's looking for recruitment, and then we share our jobs with so whoever we're recruiting for with Work BC for the purpose of collaborating and generating a stronger recruitment so community members can take part in these employment opportunities. And again, the way that our employment agency works is there's no charge to the candidate, to the person looking for work. All the charge is incurred by the business. And we are a not-for-profit, so it's a really good way for us to keep the doors open. Our rates are very competitive, and yeah, so we collaborate closely with Work BC and really appreciate the communication that we have with them.
Thank you so much, Will. I think Carrie already answered, are you planning for a hybrid model for training in the future? Anyone else has any questions? They can either take off the mute and ask, or whatever.
I can maybe elaborate a little bit more on that as well. So the KVI campus has been closed to the public for the duration of this COVID pandemic. Now, with the new PHO orders coming into effect, we are transitioning from a COVID-19 plan to a communicable disease plan. And our communicable disease plan should be in place by September 7th. So the building will be opening again to the public as of September 7th. In terms of our programming, typically, like right now, as I mentioned, it's all virtual. What we would like to see in the future is predominantly for that virtual training to continue. We do deliver face-to-face that, on request. So if a company, for example, or anybody in industry, or even Work BC, for example, wanted to say, put on, an independent, so a private OFA session, for example, for some of its members that was not listed on our public calendar. By all means, that training would be face-to-face at the building, and happy to arrange things like that. With the rest of our HSC training, we're just kind of going to have to sort of play it play it by ear or kind of see how things go with the world out there. Our business has made some changes over the past year. The Haisla Nation Education Department has moved into the KVI campus. And so there has been some changes to our physical space. We will still, have some rooms for face-to-face delivery. So again, if somebody was looking specifically for that, it's a conversation we would want to have. We wouldn't want to say definitively no. We would definitely want to have a conversation.
Thank you so much, Carrie. We're still open for any questions from anyone through chat or if they want to ask themselves. And
I do have a question, Carrie. You were talking about I believe it's called the Bridge Watch, and you talked about moving from campus to campus. How does that work for finances for someone who's participating in that?
That's a great question.
Like housing
BCIT,
and all that piece. That's what I'm just curious.
That's a fully funded program by BCIT. So BCIT will arrange for all of the transportation, accommodation, and those costs to attend that program are fully funded by BCIT. So the participant does not incur any transportation, accommodation, or curriculum sort of costs associated with the program.
Okay, and are you able to elaborate a little bit more about the eligibility in order to participate in that program? Just in case somebody here would.
Yeah, just I'm going to bring up, I have a BCIT pamphlet, which we can share with you as well, so that if you have some people coming in or inquiring about the program, you can share that information. I'll just kind of read a little bit here. So become a deckhand. So the Bridge Watch rating is the foundation to beginning your career at sea aboard commercial vessels. You'll learn essential knowledge and skills related to the practice of seamanship, navigation, standards of safe working procedures, and the hazards associated. So in terms of eligibility, well, actually, first I'll cover the certificates, because I think there's a lot of value in the certificates that people are leaving that program with. There's a lot of opportunity and a lot of flexibility in terms of job placements and things like that. So participants earn a BCIT Bridgewatch Rating Associate Certificate in the Bridgewatch Rating Program. Transport Canada Bridgewatch Rating Training Certificate. They earn a BCIT recognition of training in the work. So they do WMIS. That's one of the tickets they receive through the course. An Industry Canada Restricted Operator Certificate, and that's through Maritime Commercial. They receive their Marine Basic First Aid Certificate. They receive their Basic Safety Training Certificate, as well as Proficiency in Survival Craft. So that includes the small vehicle operator's license that I mentioned. And so that small vehicle operator's license, Camosun College delivers. So BCIT and Camosun partner for that program. So participants stay in accommodations right by the BCIT Marine campus in North Vancouver there. And then BCIT arranges that transportation over to Camosun College for the participation in that SVOP program. So some of the requirements, of course, submitting an application. So they have to fill out the application, submit that to BCIT. Participants have to submit their transcripts from high school showing grade 12 English, grade 11 math.
Okay.
They also have to complete a marine medical. And so there's various requirements for that marine medical, but they have to pass that marine medical. I know here in the Northwest, there is an opportunity to do the marine medical in Prince Rupert. There is a doctor there that does that marine medical. Again, BCIT can assist with some of the challenges around transportation and things like that. Excuse me, to attain that marine medical. There is also an opportunity for people to do the marine medical down in Vancouver, but that's a conversation that the candidate would want to probably have with BCIT because there's some parameters around, you know, doing that marine medical down in Vancouver. And aside from that, really one of the biggest program requirements is a commitment to attend, a commitment to oneself to attend, and a commitment to follow the, you know, the program, do the program work, and participate. So yeah.
Okay,
Hope
excellent.
that answers your question.
It does. And in regards to the marine medical, is there a cost associated with that, or is that also included in the, or is that prior to the application?
Yep. So BCIT, I'm assuming BCIT would cover the cost of the marine medical if there is a cost, and I'm not actually 100% sure if there is a cost to do the marine medical. I'm going to assume that there is, and that BCIT covers the cost of that.
Yeah. The reason why I ask is I know for certain driving special license, you need to have a medical associated with it, and there's usually a cost. And then upon completion of the program or during the program, is there any opportunity for networking, recruitment, or just so that upon completion, there's an opportunity for them to connect with an employer, or like what are the
100%. Yeah, okay. One of the, I think one of the messages that came across to KVES really through the, you know, the people that are involved with that BCIT program at BCIT is that they really are committed to helping graduates find work afterwards. So yes, there's connections. The Coast Guard is a big supporter of the Bridgewatch program. So many graduates get on through the Coast Guard, Transport Canada, C-SPAN. So there's lots of different connections that the BCIT graduates are able to avail of once they complete the program. Okay, excellent. And I'm going to say again, don't quote me on this one, but I one of the deliverables I believe is, you know, partly connected to that connection from study to work, right? Through with the program, because it is a federally funded program. So yeah, BCIT does report back to the federal government on you know, potential placements and connections and things like that. So
okay. That's good information. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Anyone else has any questions?
Oh, sorry, me again, Shelley. Essential skills. Do you guys do any essential skills training at all at your institution?
Currently, we're not doing any essential skills. There are some of our programming, like some of the workshops in the personal and professional series workshops do touch on essential skills and things like that. But KVES is not really focusing on education, the education piece of training so much. You know, in the last year with the Haisla Nation Education Department, the Haisla Nation focuses on essential skills training and whatnot for, you know, members in the area. I know that also, you know, through Coast Mountain School District, as well as through Coast Mountain College, there is opportunity to connect with programs for essential skills, but we're currently not really focused on essential skills.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, we'll give another minute or so for anyone if they are open to ask any questions. And if no, then we'll have Erin ready for a duck race. This is the exciting part.
All right, so thank you for participating, everybody. And we have a little $25 Skeena Valley Meats gift card. So I'm just going to share my screen here. And this one. Okay, can everyone see the screen? Okay, here we go.
It looks like it's
Whoa!
Jennifer.
Oh my goodness.
There. Good job. All right.
Elaine, I thought you had this race, and then Dave was coming up, and all of a sudden Jen slid by.
Okay. Whoop. There we go. So did I stop sharing my screen?
Nope.
Okay. Oh, it's still quacking at me. I'm not really sure why. Okay. So Jennifer, we can just leave that at the front for you and you can come and pick it up. If we need other arrangements, you can just give us a call and we can mail it out to you. So yeah, thank you for everybody for joining us and thank you to KVES staff. We appreciate it.
Thank you for having us.
Yes, thanks very much for having us.
No problem. We will put this up on our YouTube platform also for those who couldn't make it today so that they can watch the recording, just so everyone's aware. All right. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks. Have a great day.
Bye. You too.
Thank you.